Well, hello, we're live. How does it get better than that?
Hello, Susie. Hello.
Hello, Macie.
Welcome in Europe.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's fun to be here.
Yes.
So yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about money, I guess. The thing that I just wanted to say actually, Access for me has been such an amazing set of tools for so many different areas of my life, and money was not something that I initially came uh, to Access with a problem. I just basically had all this other stuff going on in my personal life. But money was not really something I was addressing at the time. And yet, Gary has so many different tools and possibilities. And all of a sudden, I just started to have more money in my life. And that to me was interesting because I wasn't working harder or I wasn't trying to make more money, but all of a sudden, there was more money. And the weird thing was, at the time, I had a job that basically was paying me a salary. So it wasn't that all of a sudden I made more money, but all of a sudden I had more money. So that was always peculiar to me and interesting how that was occurring because I didn't recognize that I was really changing things. At least not like, from thinking about it or trying hard to do it. It was just a byproduct of using the tools, which I thought was really cool.
Yes. And there is like one tool that's really popping for me right now, like money follows joy.
Hmm.
Wow. It doesn't follow misery. And how often do we follow like, okay, but at least it's giving me money. So I can do that. I can handle that.
Yeah,
It's such an interesting idea of living your life.
totally.
And
Totally.
does it something has to do with what you just said? Like you suddenly had more money?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe. I mean, I don't think I can actually explain it in that way. It's just something, and it's actually interesting. So, the class that I'm about to do, starting in April, is actually based on Gary's money workbook, and this is something he channeled. Like, here it is, many years ago, many years ago, actually. He channeled that book, and so it is laid out where basically the guy that he was channeling is asking questions and explaining things, and then the participants are talking, and so it became this place where you can work through money. And the interesting thing is, I was just reading something, and he was basically saying money is the lightness. It's like air, and you should just have money just like you're breathing air. And yet, when you think about money, you always get depressed. That's what he's saying. So, and it is so true. We go into that sense of heavy and oh, we're depressed now, rather than staying in that lightness. And like you said, money follows joy. Well, what does that mean? It just really means that if you're having fun in life and if you're joyful and light, then you also are inviting that energy of wealth into your life, and money follows wealth. So it just becomes this really cool energy that you're being in the world that then really invites everything. It invites more people, it invites so many different things, and money is just one of them. But what if really it was as easy as breathing air? And I know a lot of people go like, yeah, 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 blah, 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 blah. That's not for me. So
yeah. And like you can't grasp it with your head. So you
mm,
can't get it here. And this money workbook that we're going to do starting from the 1st of April, it's about changing the energies around money. Like, what do you live? Like, did you learn something about like you have to work hard? You have to work hard to get the money, to have ease with money. You have to have it all like lined up. Yeah, it's interesting how it works, and I'm really eager to learn yeah, how to have more ease with money myself. Yeah,
yeah.
at the moment I'm choosing stuff that's actually it's a big commitment for me, like choosing to become a CF, and this all these
Mm.
investments. It's like, yeah, it's like a different space for me.
Mhm.
And at the moment, I sense like, okay, there's a lot of stuff opening up, and it's required for me to look at the money part as well,
Yeah.
like more deeply. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, becoming a certified facilitator in access consciousness is a big monetary endeavor, you know, for sure. It's not cheap, and at the same time, you know, it can be easy if you're willing to be a different energy with it all, you know.
It's
But if in the beginning you're already deciding this is going to be hard, then most likely it's going to be hard to to do
or
that.
maybe you did not even start that in the beginning, but in the middle of it, and you're like, oh my god, how do I actually reach this certified facilities training? Like, there's so many different energies you have to be present with.
Yeah.
And that's actually inviting you, if you're really eager to commit to your life and to see where you're going. Yeah, I'm really eager to see where we can go with this. It's an online
Yeah.
deep dive. Yeah.
So it's an online class. We're doing 5 days in a row, an hour each day. And to be
Yeah.
honest, so the Money Workbook is available for anyone to buy online. So basically, if you go to the Access website and if you want to be part of this, you have to buy this book as well anyway. But so if you get this book here and you actually can do this by yourself, so even if you're not joining this class, please get the book. If money is really something in your world that isn't easy for you, please get this book, because it is a workbook and it is asking you many, many questions about your points of views about money. And so you can literally write all of that down, go through it, do it again and again and again. And Gary, actually, the founder of Access Consciousness, really suggests that you do this book once a month for a year, to really change your money flows and to really change your points of views about money. And so he suggests not to write directly into the book, but on a different piece of paper. So you can use the book over and over and over, and really just go through it every month and change your money. So what we're doing actually in this class is, or what I'm going to do is, we're going to do extra clearings. We're going to talk about stuff. We're not doing this together in a way that we're looking at each and every thing and writing it as we go. I actually want you to start beforehand so that we can then talk about what are your insane points of views about money, and we can do more clearings and like get rid of that stuff. So we're doing the workbook together, and yet this is a bit beyond that. Oh, and now I'm getting a call on my. That's interesting. Okay, cool. So I'm in a hotel and I'm getting a call on my phone. How does it get better? They probably are going to call me back again because I didn't answer. But so anyway, you know, so this is what makes this a little bit different from doing it by yourself. So just look at the energy too. Would that be a contribution? And the funny thing too is I'm not charging you a lot for joining me for 5 days in a row. I actually wanted to make it a real big joke and just charge €5, but I couldn't. So it's it is actually, you know, Access sometimes has like a minimum amount that you have to use to post a class, and so I chose that. So it's €45, but even that is really not a whole lot to basically have 5 extra hours of clearings and the recordings afterwards and everything. So, you know, just have a look at whether that's going to boost all of this a bit more even. But even regardless, please, please, please get this money workbook if you are, you know, looking at that and going, oh, money is always like, oh, for you. Please, please, please start working with that book.
And you do not even have to be familiar with the access consciousness tools to join us. No,
No.
there's just a sense of, okay, I like to have more ease with money. Join us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Yeah, and for all of you that are not sure what all this is, we will, after this, we will post a link to that bunny workbook so you can find it with more ease, and it might even be available in some other languages, and we'll just plop it in there for you guys.
So much
Cool.
ease. Much ease.
Exactly. So yeah, and then Machi, you know, I know you've been like playing with all of this too, but have you actually already seen a change in your life too with money? I know that you are now becoming a certified facilitator, so something about these tools is obviously intriguing to you.
Yes. Yeah, it's the ease and the fun part
Mm.
that I always knew was possible, but I couldn't see it like that easily in my neighborhood or in the family I grew up with. Like it's always about working hard, or maybe not even saying it, but there's this tension around money. And I always knew there was something else available, and I'm kind of getting it more right now. So, and yeah, I'm very eager to see where we can go together. Like it's a big contribution right now in this CF road.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Exciting.
Hmm.
Yay. Well, cool. So, one tool that we are going to actually share with you right now is basically um, look, well, actually perceive your future. So, one of the things that Gary Douglas always says is that your future really doesn't have pictures, but there is an energy that your future is. And so, if you're just perceiving that energy, so you can ask a question, for example, well, the first question you can ask is, if I get this money workbook and I do it every month for a year, what will my life be like in the next 5 years? And just perceive that energy. And then ask the question, if I don't do this book for the next year every month, what will my life be like in 5 years? And perceive that energy. And so if one of them has sort of that sense of expansion or lightness or more space to it, that would be an indication that that would be the future where you're creating more for yourself. You know, where it becomes like contracted, that's usually the part where you're creating less. And sometimes there isn't a big difference. And then it's just a choice. You could go either way. It's always just a choice. You can also choose the contractive side. Of course, you don't have to do it. It's just more like this is an easy way to look at it, because 5 years into the future is not usually something where we can plan a whole lot. You can even step that up to 10 years or 50 years. Even if you are older and you're like, I may not be alive in 50 years, that's okay. But it's still, it puts it out of your head, it puts it out of the logic. And then you can use the same tool also by asking about this class. You know, what will my life be like in 5 years' time if I join this 5 days in April? And what will my life be like in 5 years' time if I don't? And just again, have a look at that and see if there is a difference and how big that difference is, and just choose by that. So, you know, follow that energy rather than trying to make it about a logical list of things that you need to accomplish or do.
What if you can follow the light instead of what is right? That's a
Mm,
fun one. Yeah. Hmm.
that's a great one, actually. God, because we try to get everything right, don't we? Oh, yes.
That's fun. Like money is coming in from all over the place. You're like, oh, I'm getting it right. Yeah.
Totally.
Hmm.
Totally.
Cool.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for being here with me today. I really enjoyed our little chat. And what else is possible in the world with money?
Mm. With money. Yes, with money. Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Well, thank you, Matthew.
See you in April.
Okay.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.